Hi guys, this is Breaker, and I'm back again with a bit of another grudge match from the EXE clan between our Zerg and the Red Trunks here. My favorite Zerg from Holland and EXE, it's none other than EXE Hephaistas. And in the upper left hand corner, spawning as our Zerg in the blue trunks. My favorite Zerg from Canada and EXE, it's none other than Direstrait. Well, Hephaistas just said expletive hotkeys didn't work. Well, they only work if you use them, Hef.
Connection lost.
The interesting thing about Hephaistas is he actually does not use hotkeys when, for his units anyway, when he's playing on the ladder. But, let's just see how this game unfolds, basically. There's nothing too terribly special about this, but, I want to say, I thought a while back this map was actually removed from the ladder map pool. Maybe, maybe not. I will say that I myself had it on my downvote list. I personally don't like it because, well, no real pro leagues that I know of actually use it, but I'll go ahead and try and explain this map, the layout, and what it means best in ZVZ to you guys. Of course, we have the standard choke here, that's what every map does, but of course we have the natural being actually completely wide open and exposed. I actually think this would make for a pretty okay Heart of the Swarm map. But then again, we've got this massive gap here where I think anyone could throw down a Nidus or actually get away with doing a 3 or 4 drop ship, excuse me, 3 or 4 medevac all in, if you will. And of course the third is actually quite exposed. There's no other way to say it. Like, just, it's so open. And speaking of open, Dire is about to open his eyes and find out where Hephaistas is. Does he know about that? He does. Yes. Okay. Of course, one thing I know about Dire is typically he likes to go for his gas and then pool before he actually goes for his expo. Looks like on this map, he knows he's perfectly safe as a 6 pool would actually be detrimental to any Zerg who tries to do it against another Zerg player on this map. Worker count so far dead even. Both players going for basically the same build. What we're going to have to see, I mean, both of these players are Grandmasters. Both of them are in EXE clan. And what I will say right now is who wins this game is going to be entirely up to who's making the most mistakes. I do remember a best of 7 between Direstrait, excuse me, a best of 9 between Direstrait and Hephaistas, and well, Hephaistas wasn't victorious through the best of 9, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on this map because he does have quite a bit of time to macro up if he so chose to. So does Direstrait alternatively. I think, basically both of these players have their plan as to where they're going to throw out the overlords. First 8 overlords basically have already been chosen as to where they will be going at this level of play. Speaking of going, 2 Lings are now out on the map, just getting some scouting information out for both sides. And by both sides, I mean both players. Direstrait's sending a blue pair, and Hephaistas sending a red pair. They are still shockingly even in every aspect except for just when Metabolic Boost started, and of course for Direstrait when he's getting his Baneling Nest down. Baneling Nest, interestingly enough, not in the natural to create a bit of a SimCity phenomenon, but instead in the main. And we do have the defensive Spine Crawler coming down, though. The question is just like, what is Hephaistas doing here? He knows his opponent's there with the Lings. Excuse me. He knew that his own Lings were out there. So why isn't he trying to move them into the main? I guess he wanted to wait for Metabolic to finish. But let's get a look at just what both players are doing right now. This is actually quite confusing, as this is something this is just the first bit of deviance I see from both players. Direstrait's Baneling Nest does just now finish up. We do have 2 more Banelings on the way. But the question is, what did both players just do just now? Well, I want to say we had a bit of a macro slip up from Dire. He he had a couple of larval injects that just finished up, and he just forgot to make drones. That's it. Now, this is actually a bit of a shocker from Hephaistas. He actually is just now throwing down his Baneling nest. I like the positioning of it, but I kind of question the positioning of both of these evolution chambers. He is getting his lair now. What do we have from Direstrait? He's also getting his lair right now. He actually got it first, which could explain why he was holding off just a bit on getting his own, what do you call that? Getting his macro up. And there we go. Dire's got all the information that he needs right now. He actually sees that the lair is on the way for Hephaistas, and let's just see what Hephaistas knows about Dire. He doesn't know that he's actually got lair tech in production right now. Interesting choice by Direstrait. Burrow being researched at the hatchery in the natural. He's going for some roach play, but with what we see from Hephaistas, I would not be surprised to see a spire going down soon. There it is. The lair is finished. But he also took his third at the same time. Dire's third is also on the way, just a teens behind what Hephaistas's got started on. Now, something I do want to point out is all of these lings that are moving out on the map right now. Dire's actually going to have to either cancel that hatchery, but just the way I see with all this pressure moving out, I don't see him holding. Yeah, 4 roaches is not going to cut it against that. However, all of these, and that Baneling, that sick Baneling would, but oh my god, it did connect with all of those. It connected with all of those Zerglings, but they survived because they have +1 carapace. Absolutely sick play. This is the fun fact of the day if you guys didn't know it. If you have +1 carapace research and you're doing Baneling wars, guess what? Your lings will survive a single Baneling hit with only 1 HP, and there it is. We just had Burrow finish up for Dire not too long ago, but now it looks like he's going to be able to hold this with how many roaches he has right here. I think maybe a good move by Hephaistas would have been to just plain straight up A move onto this hatchery, try and force it to cancel, if not, sacrifice a few units to try and take it down. All of these Banelings are over here. The question is just what is he going to do with them? If they connect with the roaches, they're going to do a lot of damage, to say the very least. They are +1. Which means they will actually put a single batch of workers into red HP, but here we go. Oh my god, he's also got centrifugal hooks. This looks like some kind of a timing attack. Direstrait getting his Nidus down, throwing it down. Excellent splitting by Direstrait. However, I don't know what's happening ahead. It looks like Hephaistas is actually coming out slightly ahead in all of this. He's actually rallying more and more lings to this, and this is just absolutely sick. What we're gonna see right here. Oh, bro, at the last second saves them, but not for long. When the Overseer shows up, they are revealed, and all of these Zerglings are just going at it like they are piranhas on the ground. Here we go. Nidus now on the way. Where the heck is it? Oh, unfortunately, it does get shut down by Hephaistas. So now Dire just realizes, okay, great, I gotta make something happen. I gotta do something. But oh shoot, with all of those lings, I don't think he's gonna be able to hold against this. And the thing is, I just don't know what to make of this. What can Dire do to come back from this? He's gonna need a lot of burrowed Banelings. And not only that, he's going to need spot-on reflexes to get him to work, but I just don't see this working out for Dire at all. Oh my god, the lings have gotten into the main. They're actually going to get quite a few drone kills here. Drones forced to burrow, bringing the total number of workers killed for Hephaistas to 12. And now he's going to have to unload the roaches in that Nidus, otherwise they're not coming back. Oh man! Let me tell you, those are some of the luckiest roaches on the planet to be alive in that Nidus right now. It's like, I can't even see how much HP it has. Third finally falls for Direstrait. It looks like Direstrait's going to try and commit to this kind of all-in, if you will. It's just, he doesn't have a way to put it down anywhere. I think right here would be an okay idea, but, you know, just who's going to come out ahead in this is the real question. 14 minutes into the game, Dire is basically starving for resources. If we check the income right now, Hephaistas is ahead by a fraction, but of course in mirror matchups, the income is possibly the most important factor of the game, aside from the all-ins. When a player knows that they have to do something. There it is. Hephaistas not really forced into doing that, but he just wanted to, I don't know, I'm guessing he just wanted to throw that away. Here we go. Direstrait moving out, but oh, this is actually really dangerous for Dire. He doesn't see what these banelings are going to do. Or does he? Okay, some of the roaches are moving to intercept, but oh man, these banelings! Oh my god! If your name is Direstrait, then you no longer have any drones in your natural. But yeah, the owner of the blue drones, they were reported missing, so guess he didn't get the memo. They're actually gone now. It looks like Dire's gonna be able to try and inflict some economic damage here, and actually, this looks like it's a pretty good move. You know, I think he could just end up getting the third here. This will actually put him on even-ish ground with Hef, but in the aspect of workers, this is definitely not going to help him out. Hephaistas will be able to instantly rebuild that hatch whenever he wants. And I'm a little surprised to see that neither player has actually gone for mutas just yet. We have a Nidus again on the way in the main. It looks like it failed at the last second. Of course, Roach Burrow Micros kind of reminds me just a little bit of the player, I think his name was Effort at the GSL recently. You know, both players, their mineral lines are going dry, but Hephaistas has slightly more income, so that means his is going to go dry slightly faster. And of course, we did just have a good deal of workers fall for Direstrait. And now that was actually not too good for Dire. He does have some roaches that are still alive, but of course he can't just burrow them as he pleases. There's an Overseer here to take care of that. And this is just getting to the point where we have to say, ouchie, Dire, do you have a way to live on in this? And +2 missile attacks are finished. We have him researching +2 carapace at the moment. Meanwhile, we just have Hephaistas continuing to research, hiccups. Continuing to crank out more lings and more banelings, and Direstrait just says this game. Pathogen glands, meanwhile, are on the way for Direstrait, and it looks like both players are kind of electing for a bit of a base race. If we see Direstrait get enough infestors out, it's not going to work. I don't think this is going to pan out too well for Hephaistas unless we see a lot of insane micro and just insane handling overall, but here we go. Like, just, wow, God, the amount of resources lost for both sides. 369 units lost for Hephaistas. Of course, most of those lings and banelings. He says, banelings, man, banelings. But where are the infestors? There are 4 on the way. The question is, will they be able to finish just in time? I don't know, but these banelings have been caught with their pants down. And the split from Dire is not all that great, but he doesn't need a great one to begin with. He just really needs to hold on and get those infestors out, then he might be good to go. That's when the engagements start to count. Beautiful surround, but wow, Dire actually didn't use a fungal growth there. Hephaistas says cheater. But of course, Hephaistas is ahead in economy. And then we just have to wait and see where both players go from here. This is only a handful of roaches, and ooh, this is actually, these are beautiful fungals by Direstrait. That actually puts him quite a bit ahead. I don't think he lost a single roach there. Or a single infestor. So, I mean, excellent defense by Dire if you want to call it defense. And now we just have to wait for both players to kind of back off and macro up. Tech up. Anything up. But of course, in terms of macro, we definitely see Hephaistas further ahead right now. A number of workers that he has, 51 to 38 from Dire. From Dire, we actually have to see him crank out an Expo and workers at the same time. This is that Nidus that almost died earlier with only 2 roaches inside of it. Alright, and with that we have Hef electing to tech up to Hive Tech already. Nothing too terribly interesting or unique, at least terribly unique, coming from either player at the moment. But I want to say maybe, just maybe, if Dire could throw Nidus down here, it would be effective. Hephaistas is already more than caught on to that strategy from him. He knows, just like, you know, I hear them personally talking over TeamSpeak sometimes. They're like, okay, well, yeah, this is what I like to do. Yeah, I like to do that too. And basically Hephaistas just knows that Direstrait loves his Nidus play. And oh my god, this is not looking too terribly good for Dire. I think he did just have to cancel a hatchery and then burrow the drone that was there. This does delay his macro a lot, but most of his supply right now is actually tied up in army supply. If we were to actually... Yeah, you just look at this. Like, all of this, we have 30 supply for Hephaistas accounting for his army, 76 for Dire. He just plain cranked out into an all-in. And there it is. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to waste any fungals on this mineral line. Those fungals are critical. I'm going to save them for whatever else I can. 3 burrowed infestors right here. Burrowed roaches right here. If they go for a base trade, maybe, just maybe, we'll see Hephaistas stand a chance. It's hard to say, really. And now we see Direstrait willing to turn around. But Hephaistas, this is what he's been saving up for. He's actually got an Ultralisk Cavern right here. Of course, the Lings are chasing down some drones, as appropriate as they should be. And that is one hero Spinecrawler down to 36 HP and getting 12 kills. Workers killed right now. It's just gone insanely through the roof for Hephaistas. 51 over the course of the game, and now it's 36 workers to 42. Hephaistas still slightly ahead. And I'm just a little curious, you know, where are things going to go from here? This is where I would ask my co-caster if I had one, but let's see where things go. Okay. Now, I like this little move from Hephaistas. You know, he's doing everything that he has to. He's taking his third again. He's got lots of spine crawlers to defend. He's got 3 Ultralisks on the way. The question is, does he have the Chitinous Armor upgrade? He does not. He doesn't have 3-3. He doesn't have the economy for 3-3. And this is, of course, Direstrait, putting Hephaistas in a dire position. One thing... And I love the micro that we see from Direstrait as well. He's making a wall of beach balls. This is beautiful. And it's actually keeping... It's Zerg force fields. They're keeping Ultralisks from making the connections with the roaches that they have to. These are only 2-2 Ultras. If they were 5-3, then the situation that Direstrait would be in would be much more severe and much more secure for Hephaistas. But here we go. There it is. Like, the third falls again. There's only 27 supply, 25 supply. None of this is combat supply, relatively speaking. 5 of it. There's 4 more spine crawlers. He says, well, thanks for ruining the awesome game with Windfesters. GG. Well. Hef. How mad you are. You mad, bro? How mad you are. You are mad, bro? Okay, I'm just kidding. Go ahead and click the follow button on the channel, guys, if you liked what you saw here today. And my name is Breaker. I enjoyed casting this tonight. And just to go ahead and subscribe to my channels, add me as a friend on Facebook. That's facebook.com/BreakerSC2. Catch you guys later.